Welcome back to Beyond the Helmet. I'm your host, Steve McGrath, and in this episode, I need to know where the Steelers fans are at because I'm joined by Ulysees Gilbert III. He's entering the second year of his career with the Steelers. They drafted him last year in the 6th round after he tore it up at Akron. We're talking a 3-time all-conference player, the team's defensive MVP twice, absolutely a stud. Unfortunately, last year he got hurt, so he has rehabbed his back. He's feeling good. He's ready to hit the second year running, and he's going to tell you just what that whirlwind of the rookie year was like, what he's looking forward to, and how he got there. So before we get into this, let me just ask you all, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, give a review, give me some feedback. But now, here is Ulysees Gilbert and his story. It is my pleasure to now be joined by Ulysees Gilbert III, if I have that right. Yeah. How's it going today, man?
It's going good, man. Can't complain. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it. And from the jump, I need to tell you how badass I think the name Ulysees is. That's an old school name. You don't hear that a lot anymore. So what's the story there? Oh, of course, it's a family name if you're the third.
Yeah, it's just a family name, man. It's something my dad gave me, and he's the second, so his dad gave it to him. Don't really know the big history behind it, but I do know it's very rare of hearing it, and also the way it's spelled. But
Right.
Everywhere I go, I always hear about being a great name, and a lot of people tell me, "Did you read the book of Ulysses about the gods and all that kind of good stuff?" So I've heard so much stuff about the name, so I'm honored to have it. So. Yeah.
Well, from a branding perspective, right? Always a good thing. No one's going to get you confused with anyone else.
Exactly.
Now, of course, we're having this conversation in mid-May, and this is at just an unprecedented time where the COVID and, what's safe, what's unsafe, what are we allowed to do? It changes from state to state. So right now, you said that you're in Florida right now. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So working out in Florida, trying to, do everything you can to be ready. I mean, can you just talk about that mindset of trying to be ready? And then I'm sure just kind of waiting to hear what the NFL is doing. And are you even allowed to go, to Pennsylvania to be with your teammates?
Yeah, I was actually in Pennsylvania before I came down to Florida. I was there training, trying to get back with my strength coaches and the athletic staff there because I was injured, and they ended up closing operations, but I ended up getting cleared while I was in the closing period. And
Nice.
Then when I got cleared, I couldn't really do the type of workouts I wanted to do or needed to do up there. And I knew I had more resources at home. And also, like, even though Florida and the coronavirus is going on, they kind of kept stuff kind of open. So I was able to come back here and go to my old school's weight room, and I also have my old strength coach and old coach just help me train. And it's been a pleasure, man. And it's one of those things kind of you just have to think about, just control what you can control. The waiting game sucks, but at the end of the day, that's all I can control is what I can do out on the field, how I get my body right for whenever we do get back. I'm not the one lagging behind everybody else. And that's the main thing. Is at the end of the day, everything's going to handle itself. But what I can do is continue to work and continue to keep a positive mindset.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And isn't that the best thing that not only that you can do, but really anyone can do? I mean, so much of us are just kind of stuck waiting. It doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete or, you're just working whatever 9 to 5. But sounds like you're not going to be behind anyone else when that time does come. But you did say that you were cleared. So right now, you're with the back and everything, you're feeling good.
I'm feeling good, man. Really no pain. I mean, you kind of continue to have some discomfort sometimes because, you get into new stuff. And also you getting back from after sitting down for 4 to 5 months of just doing nothing. But at the end of the day, I feel great. I'm getting back to where I want to be. And I'm moving fine. I'm not having pain after workouts. And that's the biggest thing for me is not having pain after running and doing lifting and stuff like that. So I'm just very thankful and just blessed to be able to be in this position now. So.
Yeah, that's so big that you're able to come back and not to take this to a dark place, right? But how frustrating is it when just the roller coaster of trying to just become a rookie? There's so many things that you have to learn, and physically you have to get right and learn the scheme, learn your teammates, this new place, and then just as you're trying to put it all together, the season ends? I mean, just how do you go through that whole roller coaster?
Man, it's crazy. It's something that you don't prepare for. You definitely don't prepare for it. And for me, as a guy that really never been hurt in their career or never missed games or a season in their career, it really was something big to me. But at the end of the day, I just held on to my faith and know that God has a plan for me, and there's always greater, and there's also a greater plan, even if it's something bad happens. And that's how I looked at it. Was very frustrating because I felt like I was just trying to get my groove, kind of start feeling real comfortable at that time and place when I did get hurt. But at the end of the day, like I said, it happened for a reason. And then I got a lot of positive out of it, honestly. Got to know myself more, got to dig deeper in different books and into my faith and to just me and just knowing more of me and just also seeing the NFL from a different perspective. Comes kind of because you're not really a player no more. You're kind of on the sidelines, kind of just see the guys walking around. You're not really invested in it as much as you were when you were healthy. So it's just a lot of different perspective, a very open-minded person. So at the end of the day, I mean, it was frustrating, but I mean, it was some positives out of it. I'm just happy to be able to be back on the healthy side of things and also hopefully help the team in a good way this season. So.
Yeah, for sure. So I need to ask though, right? So if you get drafted to play Steelers for the linebacker, I mean, just playing defense on the Steelers with all their history, right? It's like there's big shoes to fill no matter what. But to be drafted the same year as Devin, right? Where they obviously are looking to improve the linebacker position. How is that vibe where you have this guy that's also your age that like they really want him, they got him in the first round, and then they take you later in that draft, and not that you guys are the same guy or you play exactly the same position, but did it make it easier or harder on you just knowing that there's someone with you the same age, same position basically that's going to be heading to Pittsburgh?
I mean, honestly, it made it easier because he's a great guy. We're actually pretty close. And also we talked a lot. We became like just good friends over time. So I think it became easier because at the end of the day, like you said, we do play different positions, but we also help each other as well. And he got to play a lot last year, did an amazing job. He's actually one of the best, in my opinion, never seen play linebacker position. So hats off to him. But at the end of the day, like it's kind of crazy because when they drafted him, I was just like, okay, I'm not going to get drafted by the Steelers because they got their linebacker. But then when they drafted me, I was just like, well, dang, it must be a reason for it. So I'm just thankful that I should be on the Steelers because it was my childhood team growing up. So just a blessing to be on this defense and just be a part of those type of guys like Vince Williams, T.J. Watt, Bud Dupree, Joe Hayden. I mean, the list goes on. And also for history presences, it just goes on and on and on. But at the end of the day, it's just really like a brotherhood. We help each other out. There's no type of anything like no jealousy, no anything like that. So to me, it's just been easier. It's just been a good ride so far. So.
That's great. Culture is just such a big part of, feeling good about what you're doing and you're in a good spot. And so that being said, who's like the one or maybe two teammates that, really kind of took you under their wing and really helped you kind of become a professional?
Really, it was like Vince Williams, Ryan Shazier, and Mark Barron. Those are kind of like the veterans of the linebacker room at the time. They all had their different ways of taking me under their wing, and I can't appreciate them much enough because, like, for me, being a sixth rounder, you kind of have those things in your mind, like you're a sixth round, not as early. They might not think of you as much, but it wasn't like that at all. They kind of just, when they came in there, it's time to work and to help the young guys get better because they're great guys in the sense of knowing, like Vince Williams knows, like, he's at the peak of his career, but at the same time, he's on his way out. So he just wants to see the younger generation be good. And that's what he does with me and Dev, man. He just constantly teaches different things that he learned over the year, always checks on us, calls us, make sure we're all right. Same way as Shazier and Mark. They all had their different ways of thinking of the game, and it was just cool to pick their brains, man. And, like, for me and Vince, we were both drafted 6th round, so we had more in common because he had to be a 6th round player and really make his mark on the Steelers defense and make his way as one of the best defense and linebackers of the Steelers history, in my opinion. So he always talks to me and be like, man, you stick around just like me. You could do it. Look where I'm at. So it definitely feels good to have that type of positivity and that type of reassurance around you, knowing that somebody that got drafted late is also at the top of their career and knowing that you could get there as well.
Yeah, that's so big. Seeing that someone in a similar situation made it, it's sort of like, yeah, I can do this. He did it. I can definitely do it. I'm not the first one. It
Exactly.
can be done.
Exactly.
So obviously the Steelers, right? You're only there the time that you're there. So did you feel anything different about that team? Only because literally a month or two before you get drafted, Antonio Brown goes out, Le'Veon Bell goes out. Like the team, not that they're in flux because it's such a stable organization, but they're going to look a lot different. Did you feel any sort of angst about this team when you got there about trying to re-identify themselves, or was there a feeling like, no, these guys were never even here? Not a
It's
thing.
almost like they wasn't even there. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Honestly, with everything going on and coming in, they just had that mindset of just move forward. Use the guys we have and let's win. Let's go get 7. And that's what the same mindset as soon as I walked in the door. It wasn't no like, oh, man, we lost this person. Oh, man, we lost this person. It was just like, next guy up. That's one thing Coach T always said, next guy up. And that's so big in that organization because it just shows that, like, if somebody get injured or somebody leaves, next guy up, you better know what you're doing. Show me what you could do. And if I can trust you, you're going to play. And I think it's just a dope thing because at the end of the day, it just lets you know that you have a chance and that he doesn't mind if you're a first rounder or a free agent. If you know what you're doing, if you could play football, he's going to give you a chance. And I'm really just thankful for him to give me this opportunity to draft me and to see something in me because he does have a lot of guys from the MAC because even AB, he was from the MAC in 6th round.
Yeah.
I think 5th or 6th rounder from Central Michigan. So you see a lot of guys just around that area that come from lower draft rounds or just free agents making their way to be one of the best deals ever. So just be in that type of environment to know that everybody has a chance as long as you do what you need to do is just an amazing feeling.
And I mean, from such an outsider like myself, Tomlin seems like he's pretty cool and can keep it together. As a coach, can you just, as a player, can you talk about his coaching style? Just in the 1 year you've been around him, what is it about how he does his job that makes him so successful? If you can put your finger on anything.
To me, the biggest thing what I've learned for myself is he try to make you uncomfortable. He try to make you uncomfortable in the most nicest way possible because he just feels like when you're uncomfortable or do something uncomfortable, you become comfortable in those situations. So there was a lot of times at camp because I wasn't big on blitzing. I was always good in coverage. So he'll always make me do backs and backers and have me go and go and go and go. And then I'll mess up, but won't have a good rep, But he never like gave up on me. He just always just like, come on. And then he had Shazier put me to the side and just like Shazier, he kind of like you in the way he moves. So just talk to him a little bit to see if he could get any pinpoints. So when Shazier talked to me and told me just one thing to do, and he was like, come back up and do it again, and I won like most of my reps after that, it just made me feel good because it's almost like he just watching you. He wants you to be the best you, but he also knows where you're lack at, but he's going to expose them, but also make them positives in the end. And that was the biggest thing, man. He just always straightforward, always honest, and just going to give you a chance. Like I said, there's always next man up. There's always, if you know what you're doing, and he's not going to give up on you. I truly feel like when the Steelers draft you, they draft you for a reason. They draft you because they like you. They just don't draft you to this for a number game. And another good thing I love about Coach T and the whole organization is that they truly care about you and they get to know you. Walking around there, you have Mr. Rooney saying, hey, Ulysees, and it's kind of crazy because, I mean, he's the owner of the team, and he knows your name even when you're drafted late. And then Coach T the same way and every other coach. So it's really just like you really just feel the caringness of that organization and just the way of everybody talks about it is really second to none.
That's awesome. So I didn't realize that Ryan Shazier was still so involved. I mean, you've
Yeah.
mentioned him a couple times now. So uh, before he had his injury, I mean, he was at the top of the game in the NFL. So
Yeah.
he's really around helping, younger linebackers like yourself out.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy because he was my favorite linebacker going in,
Oh yeah,
really.
I mean, he's a
I
stud.
mean, yeah, he was a stud. I mean, I loved watching him play. I feel like we had like the similar play style, just like fast and stuff like that. But he was around a lot, always in the meeting rooms, always just around. Even at camp, he stayed. It was just a dope experience just to have somebody like him around, and just for kind of like where he came from and what he's doing, and him be able to walk and just his perseverance through his downfalls. Man, it's just amazing how that type of guy around, and just to bring him under the wing and actually talk to you and actually care to talk to you and want you to be great. You just never know what type of injuries that could do to people, because he could have been a complete negative person, could have been sorry for everything else, but no, I mean, God just has a great person in him, and he just decides like, okay, this is my situation. I'm gonna make the best out of it, but also whoever comes up, I'm gonna make you the best too. I want you to see greatness as well, and that's how it's off to him, just to have that type of mindset and that's have that type of care for the young guys coming in, even when he was at the pinnacle of his career and just killing the game. He just also want to see the other next people kill the game as well. So it's just a dope experience having him in the room, hearing him talk, how he dissect the offense, just the way he know the defense still, and just the way he care about everybody.
Yeah, that's so big. Yeah, I mean, like if you ever have a setback and he's right there, you're like, well, my setback wasn't so bad, right? I mean, look at him. There's no way I can't, emulate exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But man, what I really wanted to do now is just take this back a couple years, because you went home to Florida. So let's talk about growing up a little bit, right? Because if I have this right, you're a pretty good linebacker. 3-star guy. Play a little bit of
Yeah.
basketball. Obviously, a very talented kid in high school.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking? Like, did you always want to play football? Were you, maybe a little dreams of being the next Allen Iverson? What was going through your mind?
It's crazy, man. I love basketball. I really do. And I was playing AAU pretty much since 8th grade all the way to my senior year. And I was in between basketball, football. Didn't know which one I wanted to do. But then football really started blowing up for me. And then you start to look at basketball, you kind of need a height, kind of need this and kind of that. I was just kind of just one of those players that just was like good athletically, but wasn't the best like with handles and everything else. I just played the game good, and I just loved it. It was just fun to me. But my junior year, I came to qualms with that football is my bread and butter. And I love football. I mean, I've been playing it since 5. It's nothing like I was just because I just chose football because it was the way out. But I wouldn't regret any decision I made. Playing with the guys I did in high school and then going up to Akron, it was just all a blessing. So it just feels good, honestly.
So of course you do go the football route, but how does
Mhm.
that road to Akron actually come together? Were they recruiting you early? I mean, why ultimately did you choose to go
No,
there?
that's a weird thing. I actually committed to Cincinnati my junior year, going to my senior year. So I was committed to them for about 6 months, half the year. And then I had a USF offer as well. And then we had a little toss inside my family about wanting to stay closer to home because Ohio's really far. And then I was like, USF is the same conference, closer to home. So why not? And then so I decommitted. But growing up as a kid, and you see on Twitter, Instagram, everything, you see how every kid decommits. So I was like, okay, I could do that too. But then I ended up finding out that you can't really do that. And not every offer is an offer, or not every scholarship is a scholarship. So I ended up going to USF, went on official visit and everything. Thought I was going to commit the last day. They didn't allow me to commit, and they had some coaching changes after that. And then I didn't hear from them after that. And that was kind of like the biggest point of my high school career, in the sense of like, dang, like now I felt like I had nothing. Like I really had no really big offers or any offers of that caliber after that. And then Akron and App State came in the exact same day around like January. And then they both offered me on the exact same day. Akron wanted me to come up that weekend. App State wanted me to come up that week after that on Tuesday. But I just went to Akron, fell in love with it. Thought it was a great program for me because, like, with the coaches they had, it was great coaches at Florida State in the past. So I was like, why not? I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. Coach Amato was a great defensive coordinator at Florida State, had great linebackers he had under him. So I was like, Akron's the place for me, and that's how it really happened.
And did it pay off for Akron? I mean, your freshman year,
Yeah.
you're a freshman, so yeah, you play in 11 games, some special teams, maybe a little bit of defense, but just talk to me about your sophomore year, because I mean, you go from just kind of getting to games, and then sophomore
Mm-hmm.
year, all back on defense. Your team's a defensive MVP, an academic All-American nominee as well. So I mean, you're killing it in the classroom as well.
Yeah.
How did you make that jump from getting used to that college level? You play a little bit freshman year, but then sophomore year is a whole different level.
Honestly, just having Jatavis Brown, you probably know him. He was the great linebacker before me at Akron. He took me on his wing. So really just seeing how he operates inside the team, how he just did everything. I just try to really do the same thing he did because I wanted to be where he was at. Had all the accolades, did good in the classroom as well, made it to the next level. So having him as like my role model or that mentor was huge for me. And it made transition to my sophomore season starting to when he left and got drafted, it made it way easier and made the game way easier because he just always stayed on me. We always have film sessions, always stayed on me during games, after games, practices. So I always had that type of mindset from him. And then when he left, I just filled up the shoes the best I could. And then I just have fun with it. And then all my teammates made it easy as well. We just had chemistry, man. I don't know. I just have fun playing the game I love to play. So.
And you have such a high level of play your last 3 years. How that consistency. I mean, you make the jump sophomore year, but to pretty much be at that level year in and year out for 3 years, I mean, it's you don't see that in a lot of guys, that level of consistent high level play. I mean, once you sort of make that jump your sophomore year, was there anything extra that you did to keep that level, or was it just keeping that same level of intensity up?
Just really just maintaining and also just looking back at that season and see what things you have to work on and then work on those weaknesses. There's always room to get better. You can never be complacent. So that was my mindset as well. Even though I had a good sophomore season, every year was so different to me. And I had the same like nervousness every year. I was like, even though I had all the accolades top of me, I was just like, oh man, what junior year gonna be like? What I gotta do for junior year? What I gotta do for this? What things I need to work on? I just wanted to be really the best. So I always worked that way. Even when Jatavis was gone, I always text him about different things. He used to watch my games. He always used to stay on me, the things I need to do and work on. So it's just always just constantly working, Never really just got down on myself, but like, yeah, I'm good. Like, this is enough for me. And that was enough. And like my sophomore season, I had like all the sacks. And then my junior year, I won all the interceptions. So I try to get more interceptions than sacks. And then my senior year, I wanted to play it more out to space and show my versatility. So it was just always something I wanted to do to pretty much broaden my horizon of playing the linebacker position. So that's really my mindset all the way through.
So you do move from Will, where you're playing for sophomore and junior year, but senior year you're playing more a sandbacker. So that's really out of you kind of just trying to get better, almost out of boredom. Because I wanted to ask, why did you change it up a little bit?
It wasn't really that. It was more so I had a new defensive coordinator coach. And then I was the fastest linebacker we had, so it'd be better for me to be out in space and cover. And he truly asked me, would you want to do that or would you want to stay at Will? And I'm just a team person, man. I just honestly want to do what's best for the team. And then when that opportunity came about, then I had the thoughts of like, okay, this could also help me. It could show me to play space more. It could show me how I could guard wide receivers or tackle in space, and just everything else all came to my mind, just positive things. So I was just like, why not? So it's just an uncomfortable situation, but it became comfortable after a while. Just practice. Football is still football. You still know the same plays. It's just new stuff you have to get through. And so when he came to talk to me about that, and I took it on, and then it just worked because John Lako took my spot at Will, did an amazing job. And then so I just took the same job and just tried my best at it as I could. So
Funny, right? You got comfortable with the uncomfortable in college, so I guess it only made sense why you
yeah,
like it in the pros. Yeah, Tomlin's just sort of continuing what you're
exactly,
already used to. Uh, but yeah, I
exactly.
just wanted to ask, while you're in college, when do you start thinking about the next level? Like, at what point are you like, you know what, I've always wanted to make it to the NFL, but I actually think I'm close. And getting to play in the Shrine game, did that play into that? Like getting that, level of acknowledgement by the media that you deserve to be playing in a senior all-star event? Did that, really help, get you geared up?
It did. It definitely did. But I think I always had that mindset kind of coming in. I always knew I wanted to play in the NFL. Didn't really know how the college level would go. But like I said, thankfully I had Jatavis in front of me that was at his senior year ready to go to NFL. So to see him, how he was his senior year, and to hear his mindset and the way he think and the process he's going through for the league, it kind of really helped me as a young age have that mindset all the way through. So when the sophomore season came, it was like, okay, I got to start now. I got to do what he did because he was the same type of guy. I think he was 4 years on MAC or 3 years on MAC as well. And he was like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this to get noticed. And I was like, okay. And then just went out and did it the same way. I tried my best to do it. So having that person there my freshman year tremendously helped me with the mindset of just like what I needed to do to get to the next level. And then playing in the East-West Shrine was just like the icing on the cake for me, honestly. Just another way for me to shine, another way to show people I could play in the box still because I play out of the box, so people really didn't know why I switch or if I could still do the same thing. So just having that experience around college, the NFL coaches as well, and just to see how the NFL kind of is before you even get there was a tremendous experience as well. So it just really helped in that sort of speak. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you hear so much stuff about the rounds you're gonna go in or who likes you, who it is. I try really not to listen to it because, like I said, Jatavis went through it before, and he had a lot of different stuff the same way. So just to have him there, him go through it, and him teach me the same thing, it kind of made the whole process easier, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, that's so big to have like a mentor like that, someone you can kind of watch how they
Yeah.
handle it, what they have to go through, so that you can get prepared. But one thing that obviously he
Yeah.
went through, you went through. When are we going to get some Mac love? Why is it that Mac guys like you can put up all the stats and do everything, but at the end of the day, it feels like it's always an uphill battle for a lot of the guys that aren't Power Five to really get the time of day? And I know Kyle Duggar gets drafted in the second round this year out of D2, and it's not
Yeah.
universal, but there's always been an uphill battle.
Yeah, I really don't know. I can't really put a finger on it, honestly, man. I can't because like you say, you watch the draft, you see D2 guys get picked early. You see really other MAC guys get picked early. Like, I mean, we had Deontay Johnson get picked first and third round
Right.
last year for us, for the Steelers, and he was a MAC guy. So I don't know if it's just Akron. I don't know if it's the MAC. I don't know what it is. But, but it's kind of aggravating because at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of guys can't really choose where they go. A lot of stuff happens in the recruiting process that a lot of people don't talk about through high school. So there's a lot of great guys that just didn't have the buzz and had to go to these schools, but they're great athletes. So I kind of hate how that kind of shadows over the MAC because there's so many great athletes in the MAC. We play all the Big Ten schools, SEC schools, and sometimes we beat them and stay close with them. And to that just shows that no matter where you go, there's talent anywhere. So I don't know why they shout on us so bad and make it seem like we don't play anybody, because to me, we do. At the end of the day, everybody is great athletes if you get to the D1 level, D1 AA, D2, no matter what, because obviously D2 guys are getting drafted. So there's guys everywhere. So that's why I was really hats off to the Steelers for real, because they have so many MAC guys on the roster. So they really truly believe that there's talent in the MAC. So I really appreciate them for that. But I don't know why it's really shadowed over the league and why people don't really like the MAC like that. I honestly don't, because there's so many great athletes in the MAC.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's not like we'll ever get to the end of it here anyway. But, man, as we get to wrapping this up, I got this little thing for you that I call the gauntlet. I got a couple quick hitter questions that I want your knee jerk
Okay.
answer on. All right.
All right.
What's most important, having the number one offense or the number one defense?
Number one defense.
Now,
Number
is
one
there
defense for sure.
I kind of knew what that answer was going to be. Um,
Mm.
is there one thing that you wish you knew going into your rookie season?
One thing I wish I knew. It's hard to really know it because people talk about it all the time, but I think really the business aspect of the NFL. Like I said, I had Jatavis in the league. He was in the league for 3 years before I got there. So he really talked about the business aspect to me, but you really don't know it until you are in it. Actually see how people get moved around or people get cut or how like availability is the best ability and stuff like that. And you didn't hear different stuff like that, or if you don't produce, you out of here. It's just so much different small things like that. Yeah, you really wouldn't understand until you in the NFL. You could hear it all day, but it's a difference for being in it and actually seeing things happen. So that's probably the biggest one to me. It's just the business aspect of the NFL.
Got it. Is there anything in particular that you're most looking forward to in year two?
Man, just making that jump. Just making that jump from rookie year to year two. Just being the best I could be. That's all I could do is control that. Just being better in the playbook, be better on the field, be better in practice, be a better teammate. Just all aspects, just being more comfortable, and and try to help as much as I can on special teams first, and then defense secondly if I get a chance. But at the end of the day, it just starts with me. I gotta do what's best for me and get myself in the best shape possible. So when we get there, there's really no problems with that, and then the rest is just what I need to do and what the coaches need me up for me to do. So that's really the thing. Just jump from rookie year to year two and just really see that jump.
Got it. Now, do you stick to a pregame ritual?
Nah, I just listen to my music, send my prayers up, just really just talk to God pretty much through the whole thing and through all the game, and just go have fun, man, and just kind of circulate everything through my mind, get hype, and just go play.
Got it. Now, what's most important? Is it the players or is it the scheme?
Mm. In the NFL, I think it's scheme. The reason I say scheme because the NFL is filled with great players. So if we just had great players and scheme didn't matter, it'd be 0-0. So to me, scheme is everything because when you have a great defense like we do, you definitely have to have some type of offensive scheme to get us to make some type of mistake. Because if you don't have a defense like the Steelers make a mistake, you're gonna have a long day. So that's why I say scheme is the biggest thing because you can have the greatest of players, but if you have no scheme or ways to get them open or ways to get them the ball, then I mean they're really useless. So I think scheme is the best thing.
Got it. All right. Well, one last one for you. What's just when you think about everything that you've accomplished, right? To be heading into year two in the NFL, what's the best piece of advice that you'd give to a young, student athlete that sees where you are and they want to get there?
Just continue the hard work, man. Keep your faith and just believe that you want to be here and just do anything that you can to do it. I just keep your head down, be different than the crowd, really stay in the books at school as well so you're able to play football. That really matters. And also just, just work. That's really what I did. I just worked, stay humble, stay to the grind, and just did what I could. I really just focused on what I could do for myself and for the team. And if you do those things, then really the sky's the limit for you, honestly. Because when you get to this level, it's the same thing. You really just got to focus on you, be the best you could be. And so when it's time for your chance to your numbers called, you get be the best person on the field for the team. And I've seen many guys that get cut or not, and then by the end of the day, it happens for a reason. These guys that got cut, they got to a team, and then they have amazing seasons there. You just never know. So that's why I just keep that mindset and just keep your faith really because The NFL has so many up and downs. Like with me, I got injured my freshman year or my rookie year of the league, and that's something that as a rookie you never want to happen, but it did. But all you could do is just really just keep that mindset like it's supposed to happen. Everything happens for a reason. All you could do is control what you could control, and then if you really just do those things, then you'll be fine. Honestly, in my opinion.
We began with control what you can control. We end with control what you can control.
Yes,
It's the
sir.
theme. There's nothing wrong with it. If you do that, you're going to be headed in a good place. Ulysees, man, thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait to see what year 2 holds for you.
Yes, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.